Hello. I'm making a video in the garden, getting grounded, and I have my bare feet on the grass, and it feels heavenly. It feels so incredibly nice. Sitting here in pure nature, pure pristine nature, and it's absolutely gorgeous. The sun is out, up and about. And it's just beautiful, and I'm gonna miss this garden. I'm gonna miss this property and the house infinitely much. So I just wanted to take Sandy and all of my kiddos with me into the garden and let you enjoy the garden with me together. It's really nice and relaxing. Make sure to get grounded every day. Put your bare feet on the grass every day, particularly in the summertime. It's very important to do this. And in the winter time too, you have to find a place where you can put either your feet on the ground, with winter clothes on. All you have to do is I do that for 10 minutes if you can, or do that in a greenhouse, where you can put your feet onto the cement or the bare ground. That's very important to get that grounding energy through the feet or through your hands or through your legs and butt, if you sit on cement or something. And then it's good to wear maybe a cotton pants if you get grounded through your legs, but I recommend to take the shoes off if you can. Or what I do in the winter time is I kneel down on the ground, no matter how wet the grass is and no matter how cold it is, in total winter clothes with winter boots and everything, and I put my hands like this onto the grass, and I stay in this yoga position, the yoga position of doggy position. I stay like that for 10 minutes, and then I get up and go back into the warm room. So that's what I do every day at this house and at the other house. And in the summertime you can spend a long time, many hours outside and get grounded. And the more you get grounded, the better it is for your body, for healing and everything. Healing and repairing. It's very important to have that grounding energy of planet Earth or Mars or maybe even a meteorite, if you sit on a meteorite. You get the grounding energy through you. So it's very important. On Mars we have less gravity. Mars is about, I think, a third smaller than Earth, so it has less gravity, but you still get grounded, just the same way. I don't know if the gravitational force has also something to do with that, if higher gravitational force is also having a better grounding effect. I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. Would be interesting to find out. So I made this sweater here myself. I am a fashion designer now, publicly declared. This is an amazing sweater, perfect for today. Today it is about 65 to 70 degrees. Yesterday it was 80 degrees. Yesterday I just wore my Hanes undershorts and just a cotton t-shirt. Today I'm wearing my cargo pants, and they are fizzling out on the bottom. And this self-made sweater, and it is amazing, as you can see, an amazing sweater, and it comes all the way over my hips, and it's double layer. It's perfect. It has the half arm, which makes it perfect for working for me, working and still staying warm and having my butt protected and my hips and shoulders and also the back area there, where I have a long back. The t-shirts always slide up when I'm working, so I like to have a sweater that goes way over my hips, that is really long, and that is absolutely perfect. And with that I can do everything. I can do gardening, I can clean the house, I can do painting, sewing, and I don't have long sleeves that always, I don't like having long sleeves that fall into something dirty or wash my hands and then have real ice cold water running down into my sleeves. Okay, that's something I don't like. So I'm gonna have to move a little bit because the sun is moving. I also don't want to get sunburned, so I'm a bit closer to here, I guess. So this is absolutely heavenly here, absolutely gorgeous. I see dog mess. I don't wanna accidentally put my foot into that. So I have to clean that up later. I missed that the last time when I cleaned up. So yeah, we have dandelion, we have grass. I pick up blades of grass, I eat it. It's good for you. Dandelion and other leaves. Some of those are not dandelion, but I don't know what they are. But they are related to dandelion. I don't want to eat the leaf when it has any kind of suspicious spot on it, because then I don't know what kind of insect laid an egg on it. We don't want that, particularly after it has rained a lot. Then the rain is washing all of that. This is a wild strawberry leaf here. The wild strawberries, when they get strawberries, those strawberries are like really small, like the tip of my finger, like this. Then people took those and grew them larger. They bred them to be larger. I made a weird color here, but I like it. Absolutely love it. I love this color. This is so neat. It goes down further, but it has the extra color stuff sewn onto it like this. That's pretty awesome. Absolutely love this sweater. I love it. You can't even buy this. You can't buy it in any store from any designer, not even Donatella Versace. She doesn't even have a sweater like this, particularly not in my size. So no, that's the extra plus side of it. Literally. Awesome sweater. Absolutely love it. This tastes very, very, very good. I love the taste of grass. The horses love the taste of grass. Real good for you. Real healing. And so I want to talk about, in this video, I want to reflect a little bit over what I observe. In psychology, I observe that the majority of humans have severe trauma in one way or another. And I think the majority of humans have physical trauma also. But that physical trauma, like being beaten or being abused by their parents, or so-called proteges, which they didn't live up to their name, caregivers, they didn't live up to their names, when people are born into this world, and whoever they grow up with, most people are, I think most families are abusive and dysfunctional, and when they experience, most of them experience, like I'm talking about worldwide now. I'm not talking about Iceland. So I'm talking right now. I'm including the whole world. I'm including all nations. Like if we look at Iceland, for example, just single that out and take the demographic from Iceland, you'll have a completely different statistical outcome, of course, because I would say they have the highest percentage of people that have not been traumatized, or particularly not to that degree, not even comparable to how other people have been traumatized. So the farther you go to the equator, the more traumatized the babies have been, and the more trauma they have experienced from the adults that they grew up with. This is a statistical fact, okay, and wouldn't matter where on earth, okay. So, and different types of trauma, but most humans have experienced physical trauma through beating and other abuse when they were babies and children. And in that is also the psychological trauma, of course. That is, the psychological trauma is embedded in the physical trauma, in the abuse, of course, because the feeling is there's nobody to protect me. There's nobody to love me, nobody to respect me, nobody to protect my body, nobody to shield me from the violence around me. And that is severe psychological trauma. Okay. And I would say, I don't know the exact numbers, but worldwide, maybe if you include all nations, the kinder nations bring down the percentage in general. But if you do a general statistical evaluation of this, you'll probably come out with a number like 70 or 80% worldwide of people who had been traumatized when they were children or babies. Okay, and from those, I think the physical trauma is about 60% maybe, and then or even more, or 70%, and then 30%, the remaining 30% is psychological trauma, but the other ones have psychological trauma too. So 100% psychological trauma from those that have been traumatized, of course. But I'm just guessing, 70% physical trauma as well. So that's really serious, And with that situation, it's very difficult. How do people heal in a neurotic world where nobody else around them has done the healing process? So most humans are highly neurotic. They're acting out of fear. They're acting out of shame, the feelings of shame. This is really, really, really humongous with the shame. Shame feelings. The shame feelings, they are so wide-ranging, also in such a wide-ranging radius of particular situations, and particularly sexual shaming that is absolutely 100% in the people who have been traumatized. This goes over into the sexual domain, and they also have been sexually traumatized as well, physically traumatized in a sexual connotation type of way, like through rape or molestation and so on. Particularly girls from all the way around the globe. Okay, this is human neurosis in general. And there's a smaller percentage of boys who also have been raped and molested. So, but definitely almost all girls, almost all women have childhood trauma that has to do with rape or sexual molestation of some sort. Almost all women in the world. Now let that really sink in, So I watched already documentary films about this long time ago in Germany, and they said the percentage is very high also in Germany. And then they said, and those are just the cases that have come to the surface. What is the actual number, of the overall cases, the ones that are still in the statistical shadow, so to speak. So almost all, really almost all, and by that I mean like maybe 95%. This is just a rough estimate, but I think this is about accurate. Okay. And there are countries like Iceland where it's less than 95%, and Sweden, but with the influx of refugees from Africa and Middle East, the number is going up now, of course. The number of child abuse and women abuse is going drastically up. And this is a fact. We need to look at the facts. If we want to make the world a better place, we need to look at the facts. That's the first thing we have to start. Okay? If we can't even look at the facts because we want to be accepted by society, then we can't make the world a better place. So you have to choose now between popularity and making the world a better place. I choose to make the world a better place. I choose to make the world into a paradise, which we could potentially. The means are there for it. Okay, we have everything around us. Look around you. Look around you. Everything there. Everything there to make the world wonderful, to make the world into a paradise. Okay, it's all there. You can make your life already into a paradise. I can give you solid advice for that, and then you can help other people make their lives better. Jordan Peterson made a couple of very simple statements already over the years, has been talking about this. Clean up your room. I mean, just starting right there. Clean up your room. Even if you're depressed, even if you feel like you can't even get out of bed, or you feel like what's the use or what's the point. I know that feeling. This is deep depression when people feel that way. Okay. Or when people are addicted to drugs and stuff like that, because they want to numb that pain. I understand all of that, but that's not how you create a paradise. That's not how you make things better. When people take drugs or alcohol or any kind of substance, any kind of the usual party stuff, the usual society type of drugs, drug paraphernalia, nicotine in different forms, alcohol, I don't even want to think about it. It makes me cough. Or, drugs of any sort, pharma drugs. I mean, a lot of physicians are drug pushers. They literally are. There's no difference between them and some kind of street drug pusher. Okay. No difference. If they give people Vicodin or other narcotics, because then they get some kind of kickback from that corporation, they are equally drug pushers, just as much, every bit as much. So, and they're responsible for making people's lives hell. But you, as the individual person, you can make your life better. You don't have to go to the doctor anymore. You don't need to. There's no need for it. You can go into nature. You can make tea out of different plants. I have done it. I tested this on myself, ended up in the ICU. So I don't recommend to people to go out there and pick just a variety of mushrooms or any kind of pretty flower that you see. So that's not a good idea. Get into it, learn about it, look it up. Look up the stuff that you find. Pretty soon, I hope so, we will have an app that will identify a plant for you, and maybe this already exists. So there may already be some kind of program where you can just show the program the plant, and then the program will tell you what plant that is, and tell you everything about that plant, whether that's a toxic plant or a plant you can eat or make food with or use for medicinal purposes. So we need this. We need an app like this on every phone, on every Chromebook, on every computer. Okay, we need that desperately. So that's something that should be created. A plant identification app or mushroom identification app. Very, very important. Okay, so, and then with that, you can also, if you, for anyone who buys mushrooms on the internet, just saying, for someone, I mean, I don't recommend it, okay, but if you have an app like that, you can show the app that raw material and it will identify the mushroom for you and say, wait a minute, you got shystered. That's a that's a toxic mushroom there, or this one is lethal, don't take that in any way, don't even touch it with your hands. So the app will do that for you. So that's why we need AGI. We have to have those. Maybe beginning with a material identification app, and then having that go into a robot, like the toy dog robots from Japan. Forgot the name now. They had a cute name, Nabu or something. And yeah, you can put something like that into that brain, and then the dog will go with you and identify the plants. So that's really, really nice to have something like this. But those toy dog robots are only for an apartment, so they're not made for outdoor rugged terrain, obviously. But the Boston Dynamics military dog robot is. But no, you don't have to get one of those. They're also hugely overpriced, of course. So no, we need something. We need a regular dog-sized dog robot with extreme walking versatility, jumping versatility, and waterproof, of course, with riveted rubber shoe soles under the feet. And yeah, and then you don't need a leash or chest harness for those. They'll be on your side and they won't leave your side. And you don't need to potty train them. They don't need to make pee or poo-poo. So they'll just go with you into the garden and follow you. They sit everywhere with you, and they will identify the plants around you. And maybe you just want to relax and meditate, but the dog keeps on telling you about every single plant there in the grass. So, but I think that is super cute, so we need something like this for sure. So yeah, I swayed out again, but all of this is important. You need to clean up your life, make your life better, and it's very important that people start to talk to each other about their emotions. Very important. I talked about this in almost every one of my videos. This is absolutely ultra important. You don't need money for that. You can just apply this method of whoever you hang out with, you share your emotions with. Maybe not your realtor or the buyer of your house. Okay, maybe that's the time when you want to hold back with any kind of personal stuff or something. Or you have a contractor come to your house, better not share. And don't let the contractor in your house and at any time of the day. If you are a woman, if you don't have a dog, you might have just cats. They can't protect you. So I talked about that in my other video from the day before yesterday. My brain always reverses these type of things, so it's very strange. So day before yesterday I talked about this. Okay, this is real serious, that subject. So there are some people you have to be careful about. But if you're in a public place where you're safe, where there are people that are looking around, that see you and see the other person, so obviously they're not gonna try to do anything. They're not gonna act out their ideas or whatever, their violence in a public place. Usually not. I mean, there are some people that do, but that's much, much more rare. Those are the people that have gone completely insane and that have so much rage. And it happens all the time. It does happen. So I would be worried to go to a large grocery store now. I would be very worried. So the little grocery stores we have here in this region, they're probably safe also in a rural area like this. But the Walmart where the other house is, not far from the other house, that's a super Walmart store. I'm not so sure about that. So I'm not so sure if I even want to go into the store anymore. And my recommendation to the Walmart stores is just make shipment centers out of it. Make freight delivery and reception centers out of it. And we probably need something like what Elon Musk is planning on doing with Twitter. We need to have an identification and a completely new ID that is just on your device. You don't get a card or anything, just bring your device, your phone or whatever, and you create an ID, a Twitter ID or something, and that you have to put your name into it. And I don't know how he's gonna do it, if you have to put your actual last name into it and show your driver's license also, or something like this. Some people don't want to have their actual last names, but to create an ID, maybe if my last names, my middle and last name is those are my artist names. Nikki is my real name, Nicola. Okay, it's a female German name. In Germany, my mother gave me that name, Nicola. Instead of Nicole, she wanted this to be more unusual. So she called me Nicola. And there are many Nicolas in Germany, actually. But the name is more rare here in the northern regions of the America, so it's much more rare. But I've seen it, that exists too. But this is also a male name in Italy, so that's why she had to give me my aunt's middle name. I'm not going to mention this name now because I don't know what people do. They will look this up and all of that. So to give that baby that the proper, at that time was necessary, the proper gender identification, my aunt's first name as my middle name, and which is a religious name, that's all I'm going to say, and that does not fit me very much. So I changed those, and I call myself Nicola or Nikki Daisy Dandelion because I'm a nature lover. I eat these flowers, okay? They are liver cleansers, they are healers, and that is what I identify with, sitting on the grass with my feet and being surrounded by daisies and dandelions. Yeah, the blue god agrees. 3333. Yes, it's the truth, okay? So if I want to get a Twitter ID with what Elon Musk is planning on doing, then I can probably just use that name. You don't even need to go to any official office and pay money to change your name. So you just choose your name. You choose the perfect name that you want to stick with, and you shouldn't change that. That name should never be changed. So you need to think about it very good. What name you identify with and what name you feel the most comfortable with, which name describes you the best, So Zane Corporate Mafia, for example, or Danny Mafia Pimperia. Or Philip Jones Hammer Kniferia. or whatever. Whatever name describes you. You can go on Twitter and get the Twitter ID with that name. You cannot change that name later on, so think about it good, what name you want to give yourself. Also a name that is more suitable for picking up women, probably, would be advised with this. So I know they're not going to call themselves those names. So Philip Jones. What can I call him? To be nice, okay. Philip Jones, cat lover, maybe. Okay, so I don't know. I'm being very nice right now. So, and that would be a better pickup name for getting a young chick. So I recommend that to you. But anyway, so yeah, once we have this Twitter or whatever app, whatever website he might create, he might create a different website for that, all the way. And then you go there and you get your own ID, your forever ID on the internet. And then with that, you can go to Walmart. You can buy your stuff, first of all, on your app at Walmart, and then it will be delivered to the store. And there, with your ID, you can go and pick up your merchandise, and there is no need for anyone hitting anyone over the head as they're walking through the door. Okay, so, or fighting over the groceries. And no, they will. That's why we need AGI South Korean crane robots, so that would not happen, that nobody hangs out there in front of the Walmart store and then says, oh, that guy got this large TV or whatever, he got himself a new computer or he got a new iPhone or whatever, let me snatch the box out of his hand. No, this will not be possible, because the South Korean crane robot will not allow that. So no, you'll get into a lot of trouble with that humongous crane robot that will lift you up just like that on two fingers, and dangle you from, I don't know, some kind of overland electric line, and then short you out there. No, you don't want that to happen. So people will be straightening out very, very quickly with all of this, and that's why we have to have all of this. We have to have this technological revolution, and that's a real revolution. A real revolution makes the world a better place. Okay. A real revolution does not hurt anyone. Okay. If there's hurting involved, it's not a revolution. That's just what people might call a revolution, but it's not. Hurting someone, or hurting any living being, or lighting a forest on fire is not a revolution. Okay. That's violence. Let's call it what it is. Okay. And that needs to be stopped. And I think the human, with the fear of social rejection, or the fear of losing their job, or the fear of losing their career in Hollywood, and the list goes on, and the shame and all of this, shame feelings that are underneath, that are at the core of all of this. As it is right now, I don't see it getting better. So people are making things worse. Every single person is involved in this socio-economic downfall. That's not just happening in the United States, but worldwide. Because of shame, fear of social rejection, fear of losing their job, and so on. Always putting these other things over saving the world. But most of these people are not even aware that their actions are making the world suffer. They're not aware. That's why I bring this up in my videos. It's that serious. Okay. So it causes me trouble breathing when I talk about this. Okay. So it's very important to meditate, go out into nature and get grounded and do the decentralization from self out in nature. Decentralize yourself from that idea of self-importance. That means I am here with this tree making contact with me, and I'm not important, okay? And my hair is split, and my sweater is beautiful, and a lot of people think, what kind of bathrobe is that? I don't care. I'm decentralized. And I comb my hair with a tree branch, okay? So that's what you have to do. You need to stop taking yourself seriously. Very important. This is a very important message. But it's very difficult for most people because they carry so much pain, so much childhood trauma, so much humiliation, so much shame inside of them that they're trying everything they can to get away from that shame, from feeling shame. With men it is absolutely off the charts. With women too I see that, but not near as bad as with men, worldwide. And the ones the closer to the equator, or the ones that are related to those, to any nation closer to the equator, or Middle East, Africa, India, close to the equator. Okay, those men have it the absolute worst. Those men suffer the absolute worst, and I feel you, I see it, okay, I understand it, and I send you love. I sent you hearts and peace signs, and dogs, and reindeer, confetti of love, sunbeams of love, okay? And you can laugh about me, okay? It's good, it's okay. Yeah, laugh about me, I laugh with you, okay? So, and then learn to laugh about yourself. Very gradually, do it, okay? Go through this ego dissolution funnel. This is very, very important. Decentralize yourself from that idea of self-importance. Okay? Because nobody is important. Everyone is precious, infinitely precious, equally much. So importance falls away in that moment. Okay? Nobody's important. Okay? When someone says they feel, most people won't even admit that they feel important, but most people probably, they feel important because they want to feel important. So the ego that makes it, and that always implies this them over other people. Okay, this type of importance, or he's more important than the other, or he's higher on the ladder of hierarchy than the other. That's always what's implied in this. That has to be dissolved, okay? Because it's, to begin with, it's an illusion. It's just something the ego creates. Okay? That's the truth. Okay? So if we can dissolve these kind of feelings, and what happens if we, like I said in my other video, okay, what happens to Brian if he doesn't hurt the lady? What happens then if there's the South Korean crane rover right next to him? And he knows that if he hurts the lady, the crane robot will go into action very quickly with 2 fingers, hang him up on any kind of overland electric cord or phone line or whatever, or lamp post, So he knows that, so he knows he can't do it. Or the robot will say, no, like what we do with our dogs, So, the dog is about to eat shit, and we go, no, stop. No. And the dog knows, yeah, I remember, no, I'm not allowed to do it. Okay, so in the same way, it's like a shock collar effect. Okay. That's why we have to have robots desperately, guard robots like that. And so he'll see the woman, he wants to beat her up because he hates her, because she triggers in him this feeling of that he can't have her. He hasn't even tried, right? But he thinks already he can't have her. He feels ugly, okay? This comes from childhood trauma, 100%. I have seen men on those TED Talks, like they were born crippled. They were born with short legs, crippled legs. Some of them had to go through numerous surgeries in order to be able to even walk on these stumps of legs. They go out to the TED Talk audience, take the microphone in their hand, and they say that they have empowered themselves. Now that's power, okay? And some of them have a girlfriend, believe it or not, okay? So look at Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage is a dwarf. He's a Hollywood actor. Most people know him. He's playing in that real famous series of Game of Thrones, I think is the name. I don't watch these kind of things, but I've seen the interviews with him, and he talks about this. He's an animal rights activist. He's super empowered, okay, ultra empowered. I think he's good looking, even though he's short. I mean, he's 4 feet, 4'5". I don't know how tall he is, but he's very short. And he found himself a beautiful princess. She's about maybe just a head taller than he is. And she's happy with him. They have kids together that are normal size, I think. And even if they're not, there's nothing wrong with being a dwarf. But for most men, this would be the ultimate nightmare. Okay, so that has to do with childhood trauma, all of this. So this is this feeling of, feeling disadvantaged or feeling weaker than others or not attractive to women or whatever. This is all childhood trauma. Be easy on me, be easy. He also ate cat mess, I think. I don't want him to push me now with his cat mess mouth. That would not be good. Yes, that wouldn't. He took a shower yesterday. He's all clean now. Yes, all nice and clean. Oh, yeah. And that's how the dog should be, clean, in sleeping in a clean bed with a clean person together and having a clean garden. I still have to clean this one up there. I missed that. I frequently clean the garden up. It's very important. Jordan Peterson said it, So clean up your room. Start there. Do it. This is very important. You can start there. There are so many things that you can start with that don't cost you anything. Actually, the entire structure of reforming the planet is free of charge. And everyone can be included in this. Everyone can help with this. every single person can help. It's just the matter of know how to do it. Okay, so listen to the good philosophers like Peterson. He has a lot of good to say. I don't agree with him on everything, but that's okay. We don't have to agree on everything. You don't have to agree with someone 100% in order to get along with that person. So Paul and I, we disagree on a lot of stuff, a lot of critical stuff. He doesn't listen to my advice, which makes me very, very irritated often. And then he's very angry, and he whines and yells, and he is ungrateful, and he makes me mad, and he is very controlling. So all of this is not easy. It's not easy at all. But the alternative would be even less easy. So I can't do it. So I can't go out there. Sometimes I feel like, it'd be better if I went out there and became homeless or whatever and knocked on someone's door. They would probably shoot me, or I don't know what they might do. So it's not safe anymore today. It's not safe at all to just be some kind of vagabond, okay, like people were doing the flower power time, I'm all flower power, but times have changed. It's not safe anymore to hitchhike or knock on someone's door. So that's why I'm saying this situation is still better than the alternative. So, but it's not easy, okay? We fight often, but I try to make the best out of it. And I also learn. From every fight I learn. And I know, I know he's equally at fault. He's controlling and all of that, and yelling, and then I get mad. But it doesn't matter how much he yells. I should not be yelling back. Okay, but I did yesterday. But I shouldn't be yelling back. I should just drop the shovel, whatever I was doing out there at the compost area. I was trying to make this better. He doesn't agree with me. Instead of discussing this with me, he yells. He comes over and tries to take the shovel out of my hand. That's not a good way to deal with any kind of conflict. And then I push him away. That's not a good way. So I should have just given him the shovel, and I should have just walked away. And then done a meditation, and then later come back and say, and looked at it, and then discuss with him why what he just did with the shovel is not beneficial. This causes water to back up and so on. And then he thinks what I'm doing is causing the foundation of the house to fall. Oh my gosh, that little bit of water that runs out of there can actually cause the foundation of the house. No, it can't. The house is rock solid, literally. The house is standing on cement. Not just cement slabs, but cement walls. So this is like a 3-story house with cement walls on the first floor, so where the garage is. So no, and then that makes me irritated, but I need to remember now, I need to learn from this, that I have to walk away, or I have to not say anything and just walk away, because once he's screaming, he doesn't stop. I have to walk away because I don't want anyone screaming at me. That's very stressful. So I have to just meditate, and I have to go back later, and I have to talk to him once he has calmed down, and then we can discuss this. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but we have to try at least, and I have to try. It's very, very important. So discuss things peacefully and lay all the information out there on the table, and just discuss every point of it, and say, this is what's going to cause this, and this is what's going to cause that, and if we do this, then we can prevent this. And talk this through, okay? Everything. I mean, whether you do gardening or psychological stuff or healing or holistic paths or whatever you discuss everything peacefully, and then we can find solutions, and we can also find maybe a compromise, and say, okay, at least give me the chance to try this, and I will prove to you it works, or let me explore this and I will prove to you, or I will, what can go wrong, what's the worst that can go wrong if I try this or that. Very important. So meditation is extremely important. People need to discuss things peacefully with each other, and it's very important to know what your mental illness is. I'm not talking about so much in terms of Merck manual, the medical establishment books on mental illnesses. There are many types of mental illnesses. Many of them fade over. Many of them are melanged and mixes of different types. What matters is we know we're neurotic. Let's try to heal this, okay? And know where you might freak out. Avoid these situations. Hang out with people who understand you better, not with people who are totally different to your lifestyle. So make things gradually better. Make it easier. Make this healing process easier. Okay, it's very, very important. Okay, so I want everyone to go into their own minds and heal their mental illness and make the world a better place. Peace and love.